We're back with our series of predictions for the season of 2022 for the F1 new cars. I'm saying this slow again. I don't know why.
Saying it with intensity.
We're looking at McLaren today. So if you're not familiar, we are doing a prediction on each of the teams, each of the driver lineups for the new season. And in this episode, obviously, we're going to be focusing on McLaren.
And I really like McLaren. I think if we're talking about just the style of the cars, the livery of McLaren has been my favorite throughout 3 to 5 years I've been really watching F1. I love the drivers they brought in and out. The team themselves seem to be really good. But 2021, man, second half of the season, they pissed me off.
Yeah,
and I got some feelings about it.
Yeah, they absolutely just wrecked like the really awesome potential that they had for the 21 season.
Yeah.
And it was both drivers. It wasn't just Daniel Ricciardo. Actually, Daniel Ricciardo started coming back that second part of the season. Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo just kind of got desperate. Their strategy wasn't all there. And so 2021 was like towards the end of the season. I don't know what the hell happened to McLaren.
I remember Monza when they won 2, and I was like, finally, they're going to come back. They're going to beat Ferrari in the Constructors. And then what do they do the next race? They're out turn 1.
Yeah.
You know, they dive. It's like, and it felt like the second half of the season, I was watching them being like, what are you doing? Take a position, get back in line. Your car is not fast enough to overtake 4 people on turn 1.
Yeah.
And even if it was, that's still a stupid move.
Yeah.
I don't know who was telling them to do that. I don't know if it was just the drivers themselves.
I think they were desperate to kind of just prove that they had it in them.
It hurt to watch, to be honest.
It was definitely a difficult season.
Yeah. And I mean, I have a hat from Carlos Sainz from when he was in McLaren.
Yeah.
And I proudly display that. If you live in Texas and you see that, don't fucking talk to me because I don't want to know that.
Yeah, so now looking at the 2022 season, I know they've been doing a lot of development. I know for the 2021 season, they actually focused a lot of their development for the 2022 car. So I actually do have pretty high hopes that their cars that they deliver is going to be well. The only thing that I have worries about is what are the drivers going to be like? Are they going to have patience? Are we going to see them start off the season just like they started off or like how they ended in 21? And I'm worried for both because both of them have a lot to prove. Daniel Ricciardo didn't have a really strong season in the past year. So he's got a lot to prove if he's going to want to stay with the team. I think his contract's over at the end of this year. So if he's going to want to stay with the team, he's going to have to, by mid-season, at least score a good chunk of points. Lando Norris obviously had that win in the bag last season and just kind of bend it because he got a little greedy.
Yeah.
He got really greedy. And so, I don't know, for predictions for the next year, where do I see Lando Norris? I think I still see him as a top driver. I think he had a lot to learn this past season, and I think that's going to make him a really strong contender for maybe like a P5 or a P6 again.
Yeah, I mean, I already gave somebody a 6. You know who I gave? I gave
Mr. Russell.
Mr. George Russell, number 6. And I'd love to see McLaren do good. But I also think Ferrari's going to come out of the gates and really put a hurting on midfield teams. I mean, and if McLaren stays where they're at with midfield and if they don't have crazy advancements in 2022, I could see them doing 7, 8, 8, 9 as a team, you know, just flipping back and forth. I think both of them are good drivers. I think Norris is a great driver. I think Ricciardo's awesome, and they both have their moments. And when they really get into it and the car's lined up perfectly for a racetrack, they do fantastic. But they need to be consistent with it. You know, they've gotten their wins, they've gotten their podiums, but their highest highs and their lowest lows are drastically different. There's no consistency.
Too far apart. Yeah, it's not very consistent.
And it's really disappointing, not only that I like the car, that I like the drivers, that I like the team and the colors, but it just feels like they can start races so well and finish so poorly.
Yeah.
Like their strategies were not up to par in 2021. If 2022, like you were saying, they're really going to put a hurting on teams with their production value of the 2022 car, they better show it early. Because if they do nothing coming into halfway through the season, I don't even want to give them a second chance.
Yeah, I think with the team, it's going to be like either they go up exponentially or they're going to fall back even further.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting them at like 7, 8, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're going to have a tough time. There's going to be a lot of good drivers this year, and there's going to be a lot of good cars out.
I think Daniel Ricciardo is actually going to score pretty well compared to Lando Norris. I know Lando Norris is the kind of up-and-coming
you're saying Ricciardo over Norris?
I think so.
I think Norris over Ricciardo any day, but you keep going.
Yeah, so I think
dreaming,
well, Ricciardo's one of my favorite drivers, so obviously I'm saying this, right? Because I want to see him do well, but I think he still has a lot of potential. Is he as good as he was in his Red Bull days? Maybe not, but for a team like McLaren, I think his skill set kind of suits that a kind of midfield team that kind of gets the occasional podium here and there. I think it suits them perfectly, and so I see him finishing up, maybe in the 5-4.
It'd take a lot
range.
Because, I mean, you're talking about Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari all gunning for a top 5 position.
Yeah. And I say that because I know he's got a lot to prove, and I know he performs really well under pressure. And I think this is kind of the all-in season for him. He has to perform. He has to do really well. I think he would have to, outcompete Lando Norris to keep his seat, because if he doesn't, I see them getting someone else, maybe a rookie, or hiring another top driver, maybe even Perez or something, because I think Perez is out the door for Red Bull. And so, I don't know. I think Ricciardo has to perform well, and so that's why I see him doing really well. We'll see, because he did really struggle a lot adapting to that 2021 car with McLaren. But I think he's going to come in, kind of a similar engine. The aero regs is going to affect a lot of people, and I think he's going to be one of those drivers that just adapts better.
So what I got from that is you're saying Mazepin 2023
world champion
and world champion in
Absolutely.
Red Bull. Okay, because Perez is out. So yeah. No, I think there is big changes coming. It might not be this year with the car, obviously. It will be, but driver wise, it's kind of up in the air with a lot of these teams.
With a lot of teams,
especially with McLaren, who has more than something to prove. They have a history of great cars and great drivers, and if they don't prove it this year, it's really going to it's going to hurt them.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad in the eyes of publicity and the other drivers who want to drive with them.
Yeah.
I know any rookie wants the opportunity to drive Formula One, so they'll take it, but an established driver like Perez or, I don't know, Sainz maybe a little
coming back.
Yeah. Are they going to look at them if they finish, barely in the top 10 and say, oh, I want to drive with them again? Or are they going to say, oh, I'll take my chances somewhere else?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think McLaren is one of those teams that it's going to be either a really positive season for them, or they're just going to slump back even further.
Yeah.
With the coach, the team principal at the helm, since he only has to focus on team principal duties, I think that really does benefit the team. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of approach these new regs and how that Mercedes engine kind of adapts to the new regs as well.
Look, all I know is I'm very excited at the end of the day to see what their car looks like.
Yeah.
They're going to matter at the end of the day, they're going to make a good-looking car, and that's going to be fun to watch. But it's not going to be fun when they finish 9-10.
Yeah.
This year, even more so, is going to be very competitive, because usually when there's big changes like this, it either pushes the pack closer together or it spreads them out super far apart.
Yeah.
So
where do you see them constructors-wise?
Constructors-wise, 5th place.
5th place?
Yeah.
So not even in contention with Ferrari. You maybe even see someone like Aston Martin, AlphaTauri kind of beating them?
The way Ferrari ended their season, it looked really good.
Yeah, they looked strong.
And I could see AlphaTauri. I could see some underdogs coming up who gave up even more 2021 with these new regulations and the new money cap, actually do something with their downforce and with their engine and figure it out, because there's so much potential for these weaker teams, I guess you could say, to prove themselves, make a leap, and have fantastic drivers. And with driver changes in the teams that were farther back this year, McLaren might be the old dog who's not learning new tricks.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
I think it could happen, though. And it would be very disappointing to see them finish like dead middle of the road this season, but that's just how I feel about that.
All right. Well, there you have it, our hot takes on what we think the McLaren and the drivers, how the team will perform. So be sure to let us know if you disagree with us in the comments.
And let us know how you feel about their new, whatever it is, their new livery, because I know it's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be good.